This circle, though, you want to make it maybe the size of a golf ball, and you want to have, I'd say, like another circle and a half above. So not too high on your page here. And we're just going to go around and around, just building this up. There we are. Now for this, we need to add in some guidelines. Our first one is going to go very close to the edge of the circle on the left here. That'll be his center line. And then his eye line, I would say, goes about a third of the way from the bottom of our circle, just straight across. So we should have like a Super Smash Bros. Symbol here. It's a good one. You like that one? And that is pretty much everything we need to get started. Now, I do think Dr. Doofenshmirtz has a very triangular head, so I like to add in a couple extra guidelines here to help us out with that. We are going to add in a line going straight up from the right side of the circle and straight down. And then over here on the left side of the circle, pretty much from that eye line, we're going to bring a diagonal line up and connect it. So we should have a cone head here. That's exactly what we want. As we continue through, we're going to just kind of have this slope downward a little bit. And we'll just kind of leave it at that. I'd say, maybe another circle link below for it. But now we actually have everything to get started. And I'm going to start things off with his eyes. We're going to place in a circle. We're going to bring this right up next to the center line and the eye line. It takes up a lot of the circle here. It pretty much goes to the top of the circle. Bless you. It's a big circle on the inside. And then his other eye is going to be more of an oval. So I'm going to place that. It's going to extend outside of his face shape a little bit here. But that is A-okay. And then we can actually go ahead and go back in here and lock these lines in. We want to keep these eyes. The circle goes in front of the oval, so I'm going to go ahead and lock that one in first. And then whatever's left of the oval, you can go ahead and lock that in as well. Does anybody know who the voice of Doofenshmirtz is? Dan Doofenshmirtz, absolutely. He is iconic. I love watching his TikTok videos. He has some funny ones. He just really likes doing his voice all over in like different areas. But he's very fun, very cool guy. He is the voice of Doof. He is also one of the directors. It was directed by Dan Doofenshmirtz and Jeff Swampy March. So two people took on this incredible show. But you know what's crazy? It actually took 16 years for them to get the show picked up and started, which is pretty wild. Now, it's, I would say good things to those that wait, because it's actually the longest running Disney animated show ever. And they're making more, yeah. It actually is longer than Kim Possible. That was the longest before Phineas and Ferb. And it's honestly incredible that they were able to continue going for so long and have a lot of bops, because every single episode has a musical number, and that is a lot. Because it went from 2007 to 2015 for Phineas and Ferb, which is 8 years of musical numbers, like every week. That is wild to me. Now that we have his eyes in here, though, let's go ahead and continue on. Right now, he's not looking very evil. I mean, he's not very good at being evil, but we're going to give him that evil look, starting with his eyebrow here. A little C curve right next to the eye. And then you go ahead and pull this up and turn it into more of a ladle. This is the iconic evil eyebrows. A lot of our Disney characters have this specific eyebrow. The other eyebrow just extends straight out of the face. It is not connected to anything. So I don't know where the eyebrow muscles are, but it works. It's fine. He's a cartoon. And then let's move to the right side over here on the side, and we'll go ahead and add in his ear. We're going to start at that eye line, and just bring a little C curve out here. Just like that. You can go ahead and lock it in. And I love how they can get away with such strange things for the inside of the ear. because the inside of his ear, the folds, are just a number 3. So you just add that in there. There you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and move to the top here. We're going to start adding in his hair. And I like to start with a very light circle. We're going to shade in his hair, so this will be hidden in a while. But for now, go ahead and start with a circle. And bring these diagonal lines. I'm bringing an upside down letter B to start off with here, extending out. We want most of his hair to look like boxy shapes. So the bottom section here, we're going to make it look like 2 rectangles connected together. There we go. We got our little rectangular shapes. He has a longer one that extends out above this. And another one over on the right side as well. It's a little more curved for these two. So I'm adding in some diagonal lines. The ends are not going to be perfectly boxy though. It's going to be more of a diagonal line. And then diagonal line on the other side. And then the very top here, we're going to see more of these little shark fin shapes. Actually didn't leave enough room. So I'm going to go and pull it down for you guys here. We're going to do a big C curve going up. One more going down, leaving a tiny bit of space between the two here on the right. And add in one smaller one right next to that. And finish it up there. Now I would definitely shade in that area. That's going to help you hide that little circle we had. And also give his hair a little bit more contrast. But we are getting through it here. How are we doing so far? Good, great. Okay, awesome. Okay, well let's go ahead and continue on then. Once we got this shaded here, we're going to move below the eyes and start adding in his nose. And he does have a weird nose. It's a very long nose. It extends out pretty far. I'd say, kind of think of the width of the circle. That's how long the nose is. And it starts where your center line touches the circle. So we're just going to extend that pretty much straight out. Right between the eyes, let's pull down a little curve, a little letter J. And we want this to extend out back into the eye line, and it will curve it down. So we turn this into more of an S curve here, very strange S curve. Go all the way out there. We start building in his smile as well. He has a pretty big smile. I'm going to start with the edge of it, smile lines here. We're going to bring this up in our circle and then pull this down, making this into a hill or slope. And as this reaches that center line, go ahead and pull that off to the left and have it come up just slightly. So it's not perfectly flat here. You can bring it in there. Connect it up, round out that corner as well. Pull that up. Now, who is Doof's arch nemesis, I guess he's Harry the Platypus. Absolutely. Harry the Platypus is actually the top agent of his company, or the agent's group. And he's fighting their worst villain. So I don't know what happened there. They sent their best agent against the worst villain they have. I don't feel like that should make sense, but it does for them. I think really they're just like best buds. They're just having fun together. And now I'm going to go ahead and add in this square, like we're making, it's almost like we're making stairs here. We're having his teeth and the edge of his smile. He does have a little bit of an underbite, so this extends all the way to the edge of our like triangular shape. And it pulls back with a little hook. Go ahead and lock all that in. And we'll add in his chin. Finish that section up. Harry the Platypus, being a platypus, they actually had another idea. Rather than a platypus, the original idea was a capybara, which I think is also amazing. They really wanted to have more of a unique animal. That way they could have a little bit more creative freedom. And the platypus was actually perfect for that. You know, so many people have not seen or even heard of platypi. In fact, Joe Swampy Marsh, the other director, he showed his mom the design of Harry and showed her platypus, and she thought he made up a whole animal. She had never heard of it before, so she's like, "Wow, good job, son." He was like, "No, Mom, this is a real animal. I didn't make this, but I did make the design." And it's just hilarious that she had no idea at all what a platypus was. Well, let's go ahead. Now that we have his smile in here, we're going to add in his chin. He has a very prominent chin down below, kind of triangular as well. I'm going to pull a little curve here, and we're going to hook it up. Very pointed. Go ahead and bring that up a little ways, and then curve it off to the right. We're just going to meet that line there. Now we're actually going to extend this out a little ways. We want his neck to scoot to the right, and I go right from the bottom of his smile as well. And he has this little turtleneck that he wears along with his lab coat. Go ahead and add that in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and extend this to show a little bit of his back. He's got a pretty big hunch here. But the turtleneck is going to be like we're adding a little donut around his neck. We're adding in this big C curve, just extending around. And since we have the back here, we can go ahead and add in the lab coat. That is going to start with a line pretty much straight down from the right side of our circle or oval, our turtleneck. And then from the bottom of that turtleneck, we're going to add in another one. And the lab coat has these kind of coattails, or the front of it, the collar, I guess, is a little bit more like a blazer. So it's going to be these letter L's. Got one letter L, and then just a much smaller one right next to that. Go ahead and do the same thing over on the other side. We're going to add in the other side of that. And then we can lock pretty much everything in. This is pretty much it for Doof here. Harry the Platypus is actually the only character that shows up in every episode of the show. Not even Phineas and Ferb in every episode, which I think is pretty wild. And Harry being blue is actually on purpose, because in certain light, platypus do have more of a teal shine to them, so they can kind of look blue. So I think it's really cool. And they're the only mammals that lay eggs, which I think is super weird. I don't know what happened in the evolutionary line for them, but they just got a little bit of everything. You know, they're like ducks and beavers, and they're all over the place. I don't know what happened to them, but they're amazing. They're cute creatures, even though they're poisonous and deadly. Now with that, if you want to shade in the turtleneck, that could be your last little detail to add in here. You can go ahead and do that. And then find a place on your page. Go ahead and sign your name. Ours needs a signature. In the end, how do we feel about our sketches?